I know this guy in the screen. Okay, so thank you everyone for having me here. Today I'm going to talk about DevOps, of course. Don't expect anything technical for this presentation, okay? So we'll give a little bit of insights on my vision on why we keep messing up with DevOps. But first,
I see some people having blue, you need green lights on the headphones.
oh, okay, guys, if you have blue lights on the headphones, it's a problem. If you have a green lights on the headphone, it's okay. Check it, please. Check your colors. Yep. Okay. So while people is arriving, I usually speak loud, so you probably need to turn down the volumes on your headphones, and some people might not even need a headphone if you are in the first row. But my name is Daniel Bojczuk. It's a Polish name, actually, but I'm from Brazil. I moved to the Netherlands 3 years ago with my wife, 2 kids. They already speaking Dutch, and now another layer of complication is that they start fighting in Dutch. So you can imagine that I don't speak Dutch, and then I need to stop the fight. It's almost impossible. But I'm now a software engineer at Jumbo. By the way, we'll have a stand there. You can go there, say hi to our amazing colleagues, and have a freshly baked cookie. So that's nice. The stand, it's a little bit over there. And I work on the team responsible for the platform. I also like a lot to be part of the tech community, so you can reach me out in Medium, X, or Twitter, LinkedIn, or whatever you want. Also, I'll be here today and tomorrow. You can please, if you have anything, you can just reach me out in the conference. And when I'm not working, speaking or writing or whatever, and not with my family, I'm doing karate. So that's my main hobby now. Hopefully, I'll get even better and better. But now it's 12 o'clock. I see a lot of people here. And despite for my friends on the first row, if you're here at 12 o'clock, it's because you think that you are messing up. Otherwise, you're going to be eating, probably, or doing something else. But I want to have a question. Who thinks that we are messing up implementing or applying DevOps in our companies? Raise your hand. Okay, good. I have some people with hands up. Now, just to check it out. Who here works as software engineer, developer, but delivers a product? This product can be for internal usage, but for business or external with external clients. Raise your hands. Nice. I think most of the people. Who here works building platforms or software engineer for the developers? So-called DevOps engineers or platform engineers. Good. Managers? Okay, a few. Product owners? No, no business. Okay, so why I think we are keeping messing up? So if you see your developer sitting in this position, when they're developing and they're working, this might be a chance that you are messing up with DevOps. Because, look, they are not happy. And if a developer is not happy, of course, we can have several reasons. But believe me, the DevOps application might not be incorrect. If your metrics are not evolving, if you have standard metrics that are not getting better as you expected, you might get messing up with DevOps. Or, if now that I said metrics, you just make a question mark and said metrics, then you definitely are messing up with DevOps. Okay? So to start this presentation, I will bring 3 use cases, 3 real scenarios that somehow I was involved, and then we'll keep going and understand why actually we mess up in that real case. The first real case. I would never allow the developers do that. Who had already some experience with this? No one. Yeah? Okay, I see a few hands. So how does it happen? As I mentioned, I like to give presentations, talks to people. And in the end of the presentation, usually people come and talk to you. Some people say, oh, your presentation was good. Some people say, oh, I don't agree. That I really like when people come and say, I have a different idea. But I was making a presentation about AWS CDK. So how can, using AWS CDK, you can actually shift to left, harness people, we can shift to left stuff with AWS CDK, or even increase the productivity. And in the end of the presentation, 2 people came to me, approached the same idea, but one of them started like this. Daniel, you are crazy. Then, okay. I don't expect people say that I'm crazy after a presentation, even though because I didn't say everything too crazy, but said, you are crazy. I will never allow developers do that. And what I was showing, just infrastructure as a code using programming languages, right? That can be really versatile. Then I still was a question mark because I was trying to understand. And then he kept going. Yes, they need to use my tools. It's mandatory for them to use my platform. I won't allow they deploy the resources, clicking through some buttons or doing something that I want to do. And what was my question? Why? Why? Because they will make mistakes. Yes, hopefully. Everyone makes mistakes, right? And then we'll have security problems. Okay, it can happen. Then when I receive a feedback, I usually try to process it. I don't reject, only if it's really, really, really weird, but I usually don't reject the feedback. I try to process. And when I start thinking about it, I came up with an analogy that makes me think that this is actually weird. Who here have kids? Okay, so if you have kids above 1 year old, 1.5, 2 year olds, you know that you get really excited when they start to crawling. You get really excited. It's a life-changing for the kid. And then 1 month that they are crawling or walking, you already regretted because they don't stop. Never. When you're sleeping, when you're awake, when you're doing everything, they don't stop crawling. They want to go everywhere. And once they want to go everywhere, they find a wall. And finding a wall, it's really good. It's amazing because it will help the kid to stand up. But as soon as they find a wall, they find a socket, electric socket. And as soon as they find it, they will do whatever they can do to stuck things in there or put their fingers. Here in the Netherlands, the sockets are higher. In Brazil, the sockets are really in the ground level. So you can imagine. So obviously, what you're going to do with the baby, we're going to put handcuff on them. Then we will avoid then to stuck or put the finger there. Is that correct? So I was watching a youth journal from the Dutch television for kids, and I learned a word, kinderenmishandeling. So government, I'm not doing kinderenmishandeling. I'm not aggressing my kids. I'm not doing that. It's just the idea. But now think with me. If you put a handcuff on your baby, he won't get hurt. He won't put the finger in the wall or in the socket. It won't. But he won't crawl. He won't walk. He won't do anything else. He won't develop. And here is the point. We actually thought only in the electric socket. But that's not our why. We need to think the why. The why is, I want my baby to develop safely. This is the why. The why is not, I don't want to avoid him to put the finger in the electric socket. So if you don't know the why, even though it looks like we will achieve what we want, we will have several consequences. And that's actually what happens with DevOps. So let's bring DevOps now to the golden circle. Who knows the golden circle tool theory? Okay, so the golden circle is actually, The golden circle is actually a tool that Simon brought some few years ago already to help leaders to communicate for the rest of all the company, and also to help people understand why they do what they do. Because usually, no one knows why. If I ask now for you, why your company does what it does, do you have the real answer? If I ask you now, what your team does, what it does, and what you do, why you do what you do. Sometimes you don't have the answer for the why, the real answer. So we usually skip the why. And we have the how is the process, how we achieve it, and then what is actually what we need the result, what to get it. So let's try now to put DevOps in here. It's difficult to find a good definition for DevOps. DevOps is really a broad area. We can say that everything is DevOps, and we also can say that nothing is DevOps. But AWS website has a good DevOps definition. Let me write here because, put here. DevOps is the combination of cultural philosophies, practices, and tools that increase the organization's ability to deliver applications, services, high velocity, involving in improving products at a faster pace organizations and traditional software development and infrastructure management process. This speed enables organizations to better serve their customers and compete more effectively in the market. Who can tell me if we stick with this definition, that I really think it's really good? What's the why? This is the why. This is why we do DevOps. To better serve our customers and compete more in the market. If your team or you are taking any actions that doesn't go to that direction, you are messing with DevOps. And then, of course, we have the how. And now most of the people think that these are the why of DevOps. Change cultural philosophies, practices, and tools. Right? People think that this is actually the why. And the what? Well, the what is actually you can deliver software. I would add here reliable and safety, in a reliable way, in a safe way. Okay? So, as I said, most of people don't know the why, and they forget the why. And that's why they start messing up with DevOps. They think that they do DevOps because they need to deliver fast, they need to deliver software faster. Some people, as I said, thinks that, okay, no, I do DevOps because of cultural philosophies, practices, and tools. And, unfortunately, a lot of people does only part of the tools, only part of the how. They keep with the tooling. I do DevOps because I want to use the amazing tools. We have really amazing tools in here. You can just walk and see that. But if you don't use the tool as a process to achieve your why, and the why of DevOps is actually better serve the customer and be competitive in the market, then you are messing up with DevOps. And from the platform strategy book, when you build a platform, when you build a tool, you are building a highway or a freeway to our developers. It's good. It can go from point A to point B really fast. But here in the Netherlands, it happens a lot. What happens if you miss an exit? It will take 30, 50 minutes more to go around and achieve your result. What happens if you want to leave earlier? Sorry, you can't. What happens if you just need to go to the other side? In a freeway, it's a nightmare. You might want to pay tolls for that, to do that. Not in the Netherlands, but it happens to me in France. I just make a mistake, and I need to pay extra tolls to go exit and get in the road again, then exit and get the road again. So it's really painful. So this kills productivity, and this kills innovation. How you're going to serve your customer, be competitive in the market if you can't innovate, if your developers can't innovate. So you need to use a tool. Sorry, the developers need to use your tool because it's good, not because it's mandatory. Otherwise, we'll mess with DevOps. This leads us to the real case number 2. Every time that I go to the Platform Engineering Conference, or every time that I read a blog post, and actually in my own team, once I was asked about how we reduce the cognitive load of the developers. This is a really standard phrase in platform engineering to help the developers. I agree. Yes. When I started my career 20 years ago, yes, I'm old, I deployed use FTP protocol. I don't know if the young people knows, just in copy and paste to the server. And now I need to do infrastructure as a code, CI/CD, and etc. So yes, we need to actually reduce the cognitive load for the developers. But you can only do that if you know your problem. Otherwise, you won't be able to solve it. And who can give me a good definition for a problem? What is a problem? No? No? No ideas? Guys, we solve problems every day. What is a problem? Sorry? The frauds away. A problem exists when there is a gap between the desired state, the reality, and the desired state. If the reality is like this, and my desired state is like that, I have a problem. Example. I'm hungry. Being hungry might not be a problem if my desired state is not being hungry. If my desired state is something else, it's keep hungry but speak on the presentation, that's not a problem, even though I'm hungry. So we need to understand, actually, what is your problem? And if you need to know the gap, how can you do that without knowing the real state, the current state, and where you want to achieve? You can't. Otherwise, you don't know your problem. And this is the way. How can I know how to get somewhere if I don't know where I am? And that's why we start keeping already now actually implementing some DevOps process. Because to that, we need basically 2 things. That in DevOps, it's really, really strong. We need metrics. We need to know where we are. If you don't know where we are, sorry, we can't start anything. So we need to know where we are. We need to have metrics. And please, make these metrics as multi-automatic. Don't go to spreadsheet processing, etc. I already saw that. People exporting spreadsheets and make metrics once a month. Won't work. Also metrics, but we can actually go for the agile metrics. That helps. Because DevOps, now that's a controversial question, but DevOps is an extension of Agile, right? We do DevOps with Agile together, right? So we can do that without knowing metrics. But the second thing, that's really most important as well. We need to collaborate. There is no way to apply DevOps sitting on your computer and not talking to the other one. We need to talk to the developers. We need to know what the problem is. We need to know if they are happy, if they're not happy. Otherwise, we can think that we are delivering a freeway. But we will be delivering a moody, stony, and horrible path. This actually is a good definition also from the platform strategy book. So, guys, DevOps is to foster collaboration. You can't apply anything about DevOps without collaborating. Otherwise, we are applying DevOps tools with the same problem about silo teams, DevOps. Do you know that image that's really, everyone knows that sys operation teams and developers throwing code over a wall? Now we are DevOps, and maybe we are building the wall now. So we need to collaborate. And if we know the why we are doing, if we know our problem, we start implementing and solving it, because that's what we do. We solve problems. Doesn't matter if it's a business problem, if it's a developer problems. We are here to solve problems. We still can have a problem. That brings us to the real case number 3. Anyone got the joke? No? All we need is love. All we need are logs. No? Beatles? I'm too old? Oh, yes. OK. Sorry. But this is the real scenario case. All we need are logs. So working in a company, we decided that we will change our observability tools. Because of different questions, contractual and etc., but we decided that. That's totally fine. So we started to implement the changes in our systems. So we talked to our developers, we went through our teams and asked, please, we want to say, so they need to develop. We talked to the platform team that takes care of the Kubernetes. We talked to the AKS team. We talked to everyone in the company. And we achieved it. We could migrate. That's good. But when migrated, we got scared. Because we had different contracts between the 2 different tools. The old tool is actually a fixed contract value that I could put a lot of logs in there. Really, amazing, crazy. And the other tool, we have something that, but they are more pay-per-use. So the first tool, the pay-per-use, it was really expensive, and then you pay for a whole stuff. And the second tools, the pay-per-use was small, and then you say. But the thing is, when we migrated, we saw that we were spending much more than expected. The cost went really higher than we expected. Why? I can give a few examples. Who here works with Java? Spring Boot? I'm not a Java developer, OK? I'm not a Java developer. But when you load a Spring Boot application, there is a banner that shows, welcome to Spring Boot, or something like that. Yes, we were keeping Spring Boot banners in our observability tools, in the logs. We were keeping debug logs, and I'm talking about production environments, so you can imagine about the other ones. And we are keeping up, I'm here, I passed here, in the observability tool. Good, huh? But why this happened? Then, of course, we chased everyone. Please refactor your software. Please refactor your software. Because we need to collaborate and explain. They understand. And so this is the part of collaboration, and it works. But why this happened? Why we had all of this? Because when we implemented, we never looked more. We had metrics. Yes, we had metrics about log ingestion. We had, but since we are there, we never take care of them. The contract's there, and etc. So the thing is, if we have seen the metrics that before, if we have noticed that the logs are really strange, we could save a lot of money because we could shorten our contract and invest less in logs. Because DevOps is not a sprint. DevOps is the journey. So do you know that DevOps is an infinite circle, right? That's because of that. You can't just implement your tool, implement your process, and OK, guys, see you next time. No, you can't do that. You need to keep going. DevOps is about continuous development. So you implement, you measure, and then you check again. Maybe your metrics will say something. Maybe, do you remember about the problem definition? That's actually the gap between the real state and the desired state. The real state can change every day, but the desired state also can change every day. So business and IT, let's say like that, should be only one thing, should be collaborating. And we need to understand, this is a really important thing, DevOps is not a sprint, it's a journey. Thank you very much, everyone. Hope to see you on the conference. If you have some questions, you can just approach me. Thank you.